They say I've been keeping Shabbat and kosher for the last few months, so Hashem could give me something. But after I've done all of this stuff, like Teshuvah, I still didn't get it. And bad things just keep happening. So why after doing these mitzvot, nothing good is happening? This, believe it or not, is a fantastic question. It's a question that I battled with myself when I first started doing Teshuvah. When I first started doing Teshuvah, I was very, very sick. And my business was going into the toilet. I lost almost 90% of what I had. But still, there was still a few $1 million left. I figured that hopefully, from what I have left, Hashem will build me back. I'll get back in and I'll get healthy and so on and so forth. And I started praying and I started learning and I started reading Tehillim. I would read almost the entire book of Tehillim every 2 days. 150 Tehillim every couple of days, with tears, with crying, with this. And I was sure that not only good things were going to happen right away, but I was sure God was going to talk to me. You go cry 3, 4, 5 hours straight to HaKadosh Baruch Hu on the 35th floor in New York. You're going to start thinking that Hashem's going to start talking to you. I thought Moshe Rabbeinu, me, same thing. Well, guess what? Not only did Hashem not talk to me, but bad things continued to happen. In fact, they got worse. I lost 80%, and then I lost the rest too. 100% loss. Balance went to zero. Actually went to negative. The health continued to deteriorate. Hospitals, pain, all types of wonderful things. And it was hard to understand how and who and what and when until I started paying closer attention to the things that I was reading in the Torah. And I realized that all of these mitzvot that Hashem said to do, He didn't tell me do them so now I'm going to do whatever you want. He said do them because I'm God. That's it. Meaning, He's not promising us that if you do this, He's guaranteeing that everything that you ever desire and want and so on, He's just going to write a check for it immediately. Anyone that tells you that if you start keeping Shabbat, you're going to start making a lot of money. If you start watching your Brit, you're going to start making a lot of money. If you're going to start doing such and such, everything is going to work out. If they say it in that type of tone, they're a liar. Why? Hashem doesn't owe you anything. Can it happen? Yes. Does it entice Hashem for it to happen? Absolutely. But always remember, Hashem does not dance to our tune. If we violated His mitzvot for 15, 20, 25, 35, 45 years, and all of a sudden we started keeping Shabbat and mitzvot and started learning for 6 months, what do you think? You ruined everything for 30 years. Now for 6 months you're a golden boy and everything's going to be okay? It's going to take a little longer than 6 months to fix 30 years of damage. Just like anything else in life. If you go and you work for a company, and you work and you work and you work and you develop and you go up the ladder and so on and so forth, and one day you make a mistake, and that mistake cost the company $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. Now if that company's smart, they're not going to fire you. Why? They just spent $3 million educating you. What's the point of firing you? Now you know what not to do. Now you know what not to do. Firing you, that's not going to get anybody any good. Now you know what not to do. Okay, we just spent $3 million sending you to college of learning what not to do. Fine, okay, now that you know this, you have an experience that nobody else in the company has. Okay, so can I get a raise? No, that you can't get. What can I get a raise this year? Absolutely not. Can I get a raise next year? Maybe, most likely not. Why? Well, you just lost $3 million, buddy. It's going to take a while for your work to get you to a point where you've made up for this damage you caused. So we've caused damage for a certain amount of time by not following the mitzvot, by walking around immodestly and getting Am Yisrael to sin as a result of it, by stealing, by cheating, by lying, by doing all of these things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said no. So okay, so now you're starting to do the stuff He said to do. Good. You're obligated to do it anyway. And for you to get on the good list and get all the things that you want, it's probably going to take a little time. Some people get more or less depending on who they are. Hashem knows exactly what to give you and when to give you. But remember that sometimes HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to give you difficulties during your teshuvah in order to help you, not to punish you. He's helping you by giving you difficulties because He sees that you're doing serious teshuvah. He sees that you're serious about Shabbat. He sees that you're serious about modesty. You threw out all the clothes that's not modest. You threw them out. You even made a video cutting all of it. You put it on the internet to encourage other girls to wear modest clothes. So you're not like buying new clothes, but you still have the mini skirt and the tank tops in the closet. Maybe one day you want to wear it. You're serious. You're throwing everything out. You burn it. That means that in order for you to go back to immodesty, it's going to take some effort. You have to go back to the store, and it's embarrassing, this and that. So you've put a fence around the fence. You left the girlfriend, but you didn't just leave her. You changed phone numbers. She doesn't even know where you are. You moved away. Why? Because you know that if you're going to stay, she has your phone number, she's going to call you, and it's only a matter of time before you fall. So what'd you do? You not only left her because you want to watch your brit, but you also changed phone number and you went somewhere else. You're far away. You're out of touch. You're not staying friends. We're not platonic friends. There's no such thing as platonic friends in Judaism. Why? You want to watch yourself. So you took serious teshuvah, serious measures to make your teshuvah serious. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, wow, I'm impressed by your teshuvah, and I love you so much that I'm going to give you a little bit of extra difficulties right now. Why? For two reasons. One, I want to see if you really love me. I want to see if your teshuvah is real. Are you doing it because you expect that after you keep Shabbat for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months, I'm going to give you like a lotto ticket? So really, you're not doing teshuvah because you care, because you fear me, because you love me. You're really doing teshuvah because it's like work for you. It's like you work for free for 10 months because you're expecting a lotto ticket at the end. So I want to see if you love me. Better yet, I want to see you deal with these difficulties. Deal with these difficulties and find a way to justify them in the Torah. How could I justify these difficulties in the Torah? Well, you realize, wait a minute. If I'm doing teshuvah, that means that I'm realizing that what I've done in the past is wrong. That driving on Shabbat was wrong. That eating pig is wrong. That stealing money is wrong. That doing such and such is wrong. Okay, so if it's wrong, obviously it requires a punishment. Now Hashem says, I love you so much and I am enjoying your teshuvah so much, I'm not going to give you punishment in Gehenom at all. I still have to give you punishment though. So what am I going to do? Instead of 1,000 years or 1,000,000 years in Gehenom, I'll give you money problems for 6 months. Who prefers Gehenom instead? Raise your hand. Nobody's going to raise their hand. Why? When you realize what Gehenom is like, you don't want Gehenom for a second. So Hashem likes our teshuvah sometimes so much, He's actually going to give us difficulties. He's going to give us difficulties. Why? Because He wants to give us that punishment here for a few months, and even some cases for a few years. Why? So that way, you don't have any punishment at all. You can go straight to Gan Eden. You go straight and sit next to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and have eternity of good. So with that, we thank Hashem for the problems. And that's what the Gemara in Masechet Brachot says, that if a person knew how valuable their suffering is, when they're doing teshuvah, they'd actually pray for it. They'd pray to get suffering. Now, none of us are at the level to pray for suffering. It already comes automatic. But the point being, Rabotai Karim, is that don't get discouraged because Hashem is not dancing to your tune. Remember, He is the king. He doesn't owe you anything. You're obligated to keep His mitzvot with or without anything, with or without reward. And Rabbi Yisrael Misalan said that if somebody understood what it means to get punished by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they'd simply do all of the mitzvot just not to get punished. Forget about reward. They wouldn't even want reward. The only reward they would want is not to get punished. When somebody actually understands what punishment is. So the person that asked this had the same question I had years ago. How come all the things didn't work out right away? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu had a different plan for me. He wanted to see if the Teshuvah is real. He wanted to see if I'm going to withstand a test. And most importantly, He wanted me to pay for some of my own crimes in this life, rather than going to Gehinnom. Now in the beginning it was very, very hard for me, because when you're in the fire you can't help it, you feel the burn. When you're dealing with problems you can't help it, it's hard. But I promise you, once you understand the will of Hashem and you realize that He's really doing it for you, you're also going to realize that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Eventually times do get better. Eventually you start enjoying the mitzvot and the Torah much more. But you have to toil, you have to fight for it, you have to work hard for it. And you eventually get to a point where your state of mind becomes like heaven. You simply are at a point where you're happy, you're content with whatever you have, despite whatever problems exist. You understand why you're even in this world. You have the answers for things, and even the things you don't have answers for, you know that the answers exist, you just haven't learned it yet. The point is, Rabotai, is that Hashem does give you pleasure in this world too. It's just that you have to work hard for it. You can't just sit there and like watching a movie and expect Hashem to spoon feed you. You're not going to get to Gan Eden by being spoon fed. It's going to take a little work. And that's what we need to do and we need to understand.